Hi there, BookTube. I haven't done a tag in a while, so I thought I'd do this one, which is 50 questions you haven't been asked before. Although at my stage of life, I have been asked some of them before, but it's true. There are many I haven't been asked before, including this first one. What is your favourite candle scent? Well, I'm not really a candle scent kind of guy, I'm afraid, so I don't have one. Question 2. Which female celebrity do you wish was your sister? Hmm. Uh, Celebrity. Well, I'm going to say Jeanette Winterson. Is she a celebrity? I mean, authors in this country tend not to be celebrities unless they appear on panel shows or politics shows. But I'm going to say Jeanette Winterson because she's just a brilliant writer and a very interesting person. Question 3. Which male celebrity do you wish was your brother? Well, I'm an only child and I quite like being an only child. I'm not sure I would have wanted a brother, although it would have been useful to help sort of halve and share the parental madness. So maybe a brother would have been a good thing. Okay, so I'm going to say, let's think of a national treasure. I'm going to say Alan Moore. There you go, an older brother. 4. How old do you think when you'll be when you're married? Well, I am married. I'm not planning on remarrying. I think I was, let's say I got married in 94, so I would have been 30. I was 30 when I got married. Question 5. Do you know someone who is a hoarder? Do I know someone who hoards stuff? Yeah, I do actually. I've got a friend called Alex who collects old newspapers. When I say old, I mean historical ones from the inception of newspapers. I don't know exactly when that was, 16th, 17th century. And he goes to auctions and stuff and buys them up. He buys ones that have a particularly big news story, such as the Battle of Waterloo and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess he's a hoarder. 6. Can you do the splits? I certainly can't at my age now, and in all honesty, I probably never could. Question 7. How old were you when you learned to ride a bike? Well, I've never learned to ride a bike, so I can't answer that one. Yeah, never learned. 8. How many oceans have you swum in? Probably none. The sea's always too cold to swim in. 9. How many countries have you visited? Well, I'm not going to try and tally them up. I mean, I haven't been abroad for over 10 years now. I don't travel anymore. But I'm going to say around about in the region of about 15. In my a gap year between school and university, I did a tour of Europe where I went to Yugoslavia, as then was. Otherwise, that would be about 4 different countries. Austria, France, Italy, Greece, Hungary. So that's 6 straight off the bat. I've been to the US. Maybe it's not as many as 15 actually, thinking about it. Anyway. Is anyone in your family in the army? No. And I would have difficulty if they were. I'm not a pacifist in the sense of I would have gone to war against Hitler and the Nazis, but I'm pretty close to a pacifist. One of my twin sons occasionally mentions about being in the army, and that probably be the only thing I put my foot down on in his life. But it hasn't come to that, fortunately. Question 11. What would you name your daughter if you had one? Well, I didn't know the sex of my twins before they arrived, so we did prepare some names. We knew it was going to be twins. And I think Naomi was one. I can't remember the other one. But anyway, Naomi would have been one. Question 12. What would you name your son if you had one? Well, I have 2. And the names we pre-prepared for them exactly fit them. One was Jamie and the other is Ben. That's Ben and not Benjamin. 13. What's the worst grade you got on a test? Well, it's not strictly a test. We had an aptitude test, which was sort of part of our careers lessons at school, where they were sort of trying to see where you were sort of best suited for future employment. And they had an aptitude test where you had to involve sort of spatial awareness, and I have really bad spatial awareness, and when the results came back I was told I was in the bottom 5% of the whole country for spatial awareness, therefore do not seek a job as an engineer or an architect, which seems fair enough. Question 14. What is your favourite TV show as a kid? Probably Wacky Races. 14. What was your favourite... No, I've just done that. 15. What did you dress up for Halloween when you were 8? Well, Halloween is not a thing in Britain until the bloody movies came over from America, and now we do it, even though we don't understand, all the traditions behind it, even though they were originally Celtic and British traditions. But because we hadn't practiced it, we don't know. So when someone says trick or treat, you go, okay, give us a trick then. They go, no, you're supposed to give me sweets or money. So I didn't dress up at 8. I wouldn't dress up now. I turned the lights off on Halloween, and I'm a real curmudgeon. I'm sorry, I don't get involved in it. 16. Have you read any Harry Potter, Hunger Games, or Twilight? Well, dear followers of my booktube, I'm going to let you decide the answer to that one. 17. Would you rather have an American or a British accent? Well, like anyone, you don't think you have an accent because you just hear your voice normally. But I've been told I have a North London accent, which I didn't realise even existed. And so I'll settle for that. I'm happy, I don't want to sound American, so I'm happy sounding British, even though I'm not aware that I am, but clearly I am. 18. Did your mother go to university? No, she didn't. Neither of my parents did. 19. Are your grandparents still married? Well, unfortunately, none of my grandparents are still alive. No, none of them. They were married until the first one in each couple died. That's a strange question. If anyone's more likely to not still be married, it's our generation and the generations after us than our grandparents who tended to stay married. But anyway. Question 20. Have you ever taken karate lessons? Well, funnily enough, yes. As a teenager, my parents got very concerned because school kids were getting beaten up, and they persuaded me to take karate lessons. And physically, it's the most hard and demanding thing I've ever done. In the end, it was too physically demanding for me. I did enjoy it. I wasn't terribly good at it, but physically, I just didn't have the stamina to do it. 21. Do you know who Kermit the Frog is? Yes. 22. What was the first amusement park you visited? Well, I must have been to some. I must have been dragged along to them by my parents, but I'm not a fan. I don't go on rides. I'm not interested in the sensation of rides. Possibly the first one is Disneyland or Disney World, whichever one is in Anaheim on my first US trip. But I hate Disney, and I've never really forgiven my parents for dragging me along to that. But there you go. Question 23. Which language would you like to be fluent in? German, because German offers possibilities that English doesn't. And I'd like to write a book, part in German, part in English, but I'm not going to be able to because it's too late in the day for me to learn German. I studied Latin at school. When I had the option of German, Spanish or Latin, I went for Latin, which I sort of regret now, but there you go. 24. Do you spell it grey with an A or grey with an E? I'm probably so disciplined, I've probably spelled it both ways. But I appreciate grey with an E is the English way, as against grey with an H is the American way. Question 25. Is your father bald? No, one thing in our family is that males have very thick, rich heads of hair. So even though he's dead now, he had a mane right up until his death. Although strangely, I only have to shave about once a week. So although my head hair is very thick, my sort of facial hair doesn't grow very quickly. But that's an advantage. Question 26. Do you know triplets? Well, yes, I do, or I did, because we had twins. We joined TAMBA, which is the Twins and Multiple Birth Association, which put parents of twins and triplets in contact with each other as a sort of support group. So we did know a couple of sets of triplets. I mean, we thought we had it bad with twins, sort of having 2 hands and 2 bottles and 2 babies. But with 3, you've only got 2 hands. I can't imagine having triplets. Scary stuff. 27. Do you prefer Titanic or The Notebook? Neither. Haven't seen either. 28. Have you ever had Indian food? Yes. 29. What's the name of your favourite restaurant? Well, it's an Indian restaurant, funnily enough. It's called Chutneys in sort of Euston, which is South Indian food, which if you don't know is vegetarian. And you get things like dosas and bel puri, and it's just divine. It just tastes like no other food. I love it. 29. 30. Have you ever been to Nando's? Well, not by choice, but yes, because Nando's is the restaurant of choice of my kids. So quite frequently I've ended up there buying them a meal and having to sort of partake of it myself. Not with any great enthusiasm. 31. Do you belong to any warehouse stores? No. 32. What would your parents have named you if you'd been the opposite gender? I don't know. I've never asked them. 33. What's your nickname? Well, I don't really have a nickname, but when I used to play soccer, I was named Slicer because I always used to slice the ball. 34. Who is your favourite person in the whole world? Oh, God. I've never had heroes, so I don't really have a favourite person, I'm afraid. I suppose the person, yeah, I used to have a favourite person, which is my late grandmother, because she was just so entertaining. But sadly, she's no longer with us. 35. Would you rather live in the country or the city? I'm urban, me, so pretty easy answer. Question 35. No, I can't get the numbers right on this. Question 36. Can you whistle? Yes, but not terribly well. Question 37. Do you sleep with a nightlight? No. Even if I wanted to, I share a bed with my wife, and she probably wouldn't be able to hack a nightlight. 38. Do you eat breakfast every morning? Pretty much every morning. Yeah. Cereal. Question 39. Do you take any daily pills or medications? No. Question 40. What medical condition do you have? Well, fortunately, I don't really have any. I did have gallstones, which I suppose I still have because they haven't been taken out. But by changing my diet, I managed to keep that under control. That was a pain like nothing else. There's lots of nerves in your stomach area, and when gallstones press on those, it's agony. I'm not saying it's like giving birth or anything. Right. Question 41. How many times have you been to the hospital? Well, I've never stayed overnight. I've never been committed to a hospital, but I've been on outpatients once for my gallstones, once for a tooth, and once for when I was a kid I had a thorn embedded in my knee from playing football, running into a rose bush, and twice for my collarbone, which I broke playing football. So what's that, 5 times? 42. Have you ever seen Finding Nemo? Yes, I have, and I quite enjoyed it, even though I tend not to be a sentimentalist about these things. I watch it with my kids, so I guess that probably helped. Question 43. Where do you buy your jeans? I don't wear jeans. Question 44. What's the last compliment you got? Well, someone said I had a great life force, which I was rather taken with. So that was nice. That was on Friday. Question 45. Do you usually remember your dreams in the morning? Well, I'm an insomniac, so I don't think I have that many dreams. Occasionally, it is always the one before you wake up, because you're sort of transitioning from a deep sleep or whatever, from sleep into conscious waking. So if I do remember a dream, it will be that one, but it's not very often. Question 46. What flavour tea do you enjoy? Well, I don't drink tea and I don't drink coffee, so none. Question 47. How many pairs of shoes do you currently own? I own 5. I own a pair of Dr. Martin boots, which I simply cannot be without. I used to buy them for £19.99, and then they became a fashion label. And I get about 10 to 15 years wear out of them, which is fantastic. But I had to replace a pair last year, and was shocked to find it cost £80 now for a pair of DMs. 2 pairs of trainers and a pair of leather shoes for funerals and weddings. So did I say 4 or 5? That's 4. 48. What religion would you raise your children to practice? Skepticism, cynicism, and awareness is the religions I would teach my children, and hopefully I have. 49. How old were you when you found out Santa wasn't real? Well, I wasn't brought up in a Christian household, so Santa didn't even exist. Obviously, I was conscious of him in other households, but it wasn't a thing. 50. Why do you have a vlog, your YouTube channel? Well, to talk about books. Simples. So there you go. 50 questions in 14 and a half minutes. It's quite economical for me. So I'm not going to tag anyone because I think this one's been around a while, so it's free and open to anyone who wants to do it. Thanks very much. Till next time.